Right. The following series of videos, which I think I've already explained, is going to be me taking the back end to bits, changing the swing arm bearings, swing arm away to be powder coated, what else to do? Oh, new rear rubbers, like the isolator rubbers, bushes, whatever you want to call them, new front engine mount, alignment, some new bits and pieces. I also did tranny and primary oil change for AMSOIL. Now this clip, even though it's at the beginning, this is actually after all this has been done. The bike's been away, well, I've been away with the bike and the trike. We've put another about 800 mile, and the bike is absolutely spot on, absolutely spot on. But when I was doing the work, there was bits and pieces which I think I point out in a couple of the videos. I wish I'd waited, and sent that up to get powder coated. But that was on my mind all the time. So as you can see, the bike's actually on a stand. I'd get you in closer, but I haven't bothered getting any of the bikes out of the garage at the minute, so maybe it's stuck for space. Yeah, while I was away, I decided, because I've been wanting to polish all the paint, like take it back down, re-flat it all, because since I painted it, it's gone very slightly ripply again. So I want to re-flat all the paint and polish it. But there's a few bits and pieces that I've noticed that have got very slight surface rust on them, and paint missing where where the bolts are and stuff like that. I just want to sort all that stuff out before it gets any worse. So, believe it or not, this is now going to be off the road for a while. But as I said, the bike ran faultlessly. It was true on the road, no issues at all with the realignments and stuff. But yeah, it's going to be off the road. But as I say, the following video is just the work I've done. Basically, the usuals, just how I do things, just get cracked on. I was in a rush, so there's one or two cock-ups. Well, not cock-ups, but just need to slow down and think a bit more. So yeah, enjoy the videos. Okay, in this following series of videos, I'm going to strip the back end off the Electraglide to replace the bearings in the swing arm. I'm going to put new bushes in, I'm going to put a new front engine mount, then we're going to align everything. And as normal, because of other things, it's all a last minute job. So I'm going to start off, or should I say, I originally was going to start off by having the boxes off, etc., just ready to start taking stuff to bits. But a friend of mine, about, what would it be now, 3 or 4 weeks ago, bought himself an Electraglide. He's had Sportsters, and it's the first big Harley he's owned. And it might seem stupid to a lot of you people out there that have had big bikes, some of you who's had Electraglides, etc. But one of the things that he's doing is he's polishing everything up to make it look tidy. I mean, it's a nice bike, I've seen it, it's a nice bike, but he wants to take everything off, like what I'm going to do with this, take all the paintwork off to polish it all the painted items, should I say. But one of the questions he asked me, how do you get your boxes off the sides? Now, to 99% of us, it's so straightforward. But if you don't know, you don't know. So I thought I'll start right from the start, as in how to take the boxes off. Now I'm just going to do it on this side because both sides is exactly the same as in how you take them off. So first things first, step in front of the camera, open your box, typical. I'm going to zoom in a second. Just need to be able to see the camera myself, so let's make sure I'm zooming into something. Right, I'll zoom into there because I think if I just move that round a touch. Right, as I say, to most of us this is straightforward, but if you've never done it before and you don't know, then you don't know, you know what I mean? This screw here and this one here, they're not a proper screw, they're like a Dutz fastener. I think that's how you pronounce it, Dutz fastener or something like that. Basically just put your screwdriver in it and just turn it, it's like a quarter of a turn, and as you see it just comes out. Now I'll be able to show you this now, if it'll focus in on it. Right, see there, it's got like a weird end. It sort of goes into a little clip on the back and you turn it and it pulls it in tight. So just do them both. Now you also have a washer that goes with these. As you'll see, that one's, if I just pick it off, that one was stuck to the rubber. But there's a washer on each one of them. And you might have noticed there that the box just dropped this way. I'm going to zoom back out. So once you've got it to that position where your screws are out, what I do is I just close it up again, pull it sort of to the side, which releases it. It has rubbers underneath, which you might be able to see in a minute when I lift them off. But where you've got to be careful is because of the shape of the boxes, and you've got your bars, you don't want to just try and lift them straight up because you'll smack your box into there. So you want to be lifting it at a slight angle. So pull it out, avoid trying to scratch it on the side bar, but just pull them out, lift the front and just lift it out. And the actual rubbers are in the bottom of the box. So you've got a rubber there and a rubber there, and don't look at how filthy my boxes are because I'm going to be cleaning them. But yeah, you've got two rubbers there, and they're the bits, they stick. When the boxes have been on for a while, this is the bar that they sit on. I'm just going to zoom in because I don't know if you can actually see the bar. Loosen the camera off a bit. So let me run my finger along it. There. This black bar, that's what them rubbers sit on. And that's what supports the bags. Move here again. Zoom out a touch. Move my finger off the lens. Right, I'm going to try and zoom into one of the fasteners. Switch the fucking camera off then by accident. Right, this is the fastener that the Dutz fastener, whatever you call it, goes through. And there's like a clip with a bar on that goes on the inside of that it connects to, and as you turn it, it tightens up. There's one on each side. Right, so now I've showed you that, what I'm going to do is I'll knock you off, and I'll take the other side off and stick it to one side out the way, and then we'll get set up and we'll start getting into a position where I can basically start taking the back wheel out. So I'll be back soon. Got a bit carried away with my cell here. I took the other side box off like I said I was gonna, and then for some reason I just set to and started undoing my heat shield and this bracket that holds the silencer on, the muffler, whatever you want to call it. So basically I've undone these already, so just pull your heat shield off. These are fucking good clean inside. Stick that to one side where it's safe. I've been undoing this clamp. I've also put a little bit of WD-40 in the clamp part itself, and I'm just trying to open that up a bit so it's right at the end of the pipe. So that's off, and I've sprayed a bit of WD into this joint here. I can't see now on camera because I've got the screen turned. Yeah, I've sprayed a little bit of WD into this joint and round the edges just to try and penetrate in a bit, because when these haven't been off for a while they can be a pain in the arse to get off. So I'm just going to undo that clamp so it can turn you. If you'll be able to. Right, I'm just going to knock you off a minute and position you where you can actually see. Right, next thing, it's just going to undo these Allen keys on here that hold the rear of the muffler onto the bike, basically. Sure you get all your washers and stuff. What I'll do once I've got this off is I'll set you up again in a different area, and then I'll try and drive this silencer off. Muffler. Right, just pull that out. And what I might do, I'll do it off camera, is I might just drop the jack down a touch, just so that I'm not on the bench obviously, as you can tell. I'll just zoom back out. No, that's the wrong way. I'm on my other stand at the minute. So what I'll do is I'll drop that back down, and I should be able to do it from that sort of angle. So I'll just knock you off a minute. I'll get this put, as you can see, the back wheel's off the ground. If I bring it down so the back wheel's on the ground, it just makes the bike a bit more steady when I'm driving about on this exhaust. So I'll be back in a sec. Right, what I'm going to try and do is pull the silencer that way and that way. I'm going to sort of waggle it side to side, which will open up the gap on here on the clamp, which hopefully will make it a little bit looser. As you can see there, it's starting to turn, which is good, because that means I can is coming. Right, there's the silencer off, the muffler, whatever you want to fucking call them. That actually came off a lot easier than I thought it was going to. So I'll knock you off again, get this thing jacked up a bit again, and I'll come back in a minute. Okay, I've got the bike jacked back up a little bit, and I've got my tools ready, and what I want to do is loosen off the axle nut so that I can then turn the axle shaft, which has these adjusters on for adjusting the back wheel, and then shove that as far forward as I can. And basically what we're going to do is take the back wheel off. So first, just remove your clip Now the quickest way of doing this is just get a screwdriver in and just twist it, and hopefully you saw that. I won't know until I play it back. I need to repolish that lot as well, it's covered in crap. Right, I'm just going to zoom back out a bit. Right, so I'm just going to get a spanner on the opposite side, so we get that in position, and then get me socket on a breaker bar, and then just loosen that off. Well, now I've cracked it, I'll put it on a ratchet. Get my spanner back on to the side. Right, so that's loose. Now from the opposite side of the bike, the nut on the opposite side is welded to the actual axle. So you can turn that from this side and it turns the adjuster. So you can get it to its minimum setting, which allows you then to push the front wheel, the back wheel forward, so that all your tension's off. So what I need to do now is, the way I do it is I tend to undo my shock mounts on both sides, so the wheel's on the floor, and then I jack the bike up, and then I can take the axle out underneath the silencer on the muffler on the other side. So I shall grab some tools and we'll get them off. And from memory, these are 5/8, and I've lost my 5/8 ratchet socket. Well, I haven't lost it, it's in this fucking garage somewhere. So, I've got one here. Right, I'm going to knock you off again for a minute, just while I find the right size socket. Back in a sec. Right, after double checking, it isn't 5/8, it's actually 3/4, which I have got. It's my 5/8 I can't find. Just nip the top loose as well. And now, jack it back up. Right, need to find some more tools, I'll be back in a minute. What I've just done off camera, I've just removed the other side muffler, exactly the same as taking this side off, so I didn't bother filming it. But I've also, while the wheel was forward, I've dropped the the belt off the pulley on the other side, which it's easy. You don't need any degrees in anything to remove a belt off the pulley. So I've dropped the bike back down, as in lowered the jack back down so that the back wheel's touching the floor again, and I'm now going to pull out the axle so that I can start taking the back wheel out. So basically it's just a case of take this nut all the way off and the adjuster. That's what adjusts you. As it turns, it pushes the wheel back. That bit there on the edge, it rubs up against this. There's like a block on here that it pushes against. And one of the things, when I've got the swing arm off eventually, I'm going to just check to make sure there's no wear on them, so that it's so that I know that the back wheel's adjusting equally on both sides. So for now, I've got the wheels loose, as you know. It's resting on the floor. I should be able to, like just there, I've just pushed that in with my hand. I'm just going to go around the other side and pull this axle right through. So that's the axle out, and same sort of adjuster on the other end. As I say, the nut on this end's welded on. Now that's factory standard, that's not just something I've done so it makes it easier, that's how it comes out of the factory. So, now that that's off, I've got options, as in, I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to remove this shock. Now, because it's an air shock, I don't know if you can see that, I'll just adjust you a tiny bit and zoom in. The air shock, the line comes in here. Just take my gloves off. Now on there, you just push this little black bit in towards the shock body. Hope I'm not blocking your view. I'll start that again. Actually my battery's flashing. I'm just going to change the battery. I'll be back in a sec. Right, I've changed the battery and I've tried to focus in a bit better on this where the airline comes into the top of the shock. I said this black bit, where I was sat in the shadow it looked black, but it's actually red. Now hopefully I can see, you'll see this, that bit pushes in. So push that in and you can just pull it out, and if you'll have heard then, you'll have heard the release of air. And hopefully this is loose, so yeah. Right, so I'll take that off. And that just gives me more room to work in here. Now, one option I've got is I can drop the swing arm a bit. Spacer, oh, I better zoom out a bit, huh? Right, what I've just done is I've moved the wheel, I'm going to zoom back in again, is I've moved the wheel forward, get that to stay where that, and I pulled the caliper body up and removed the spacer. So what I'm going to do now is just push that back down, get the wheel back to the point where I can get it off. I've just removed the caliper off the actual, off its mount here, and obviously off the disc. Now what I'll do is I'll just quickly whip you around the other side. I'll just take you off the tripod to show you this. There's both. Fucking zoom on this thing, man. There's both pipes. So, right, as you can see in there, I've got the belt off, which when the wheel's fully forward, you can just lift the belt off. But what I wanted to show you here is the other spacer in the other side. And you want to lift that out as well. So now your spacers might look different to this because these are stainless steel. I made these myself at work. Well, in my old job, should I say. So just take your spacers out. That then leaves you with a free floating wheel, so to speak. So what I'll do now is I'll put you back on the stand. And we'll jack the bike up. Just quickly grab a bit of rag and wipe the grease off my finger. Right, and I'm going to start jacking the bike up to the point where I can actually roll the wheel out from underneath. Hopefully that's come up enough. The only thing when you're jacking up is the jack, as it comes up, brings the bike over this way. Can't see that on the camera. Yeah, it brings the bike over this way towards the camera, so your wheel leans over. So, just get that in. What I can do is just pull it out, and that's it, that's the wheel out. And while the wheel's out, I'll give that a polish, because it needs a good fucking clean. Just stick this over here out the way. Now, so now we can start to sort of get into a situation, get into position, should I say, where I can start to take the bits and pieces off so that I can drop the swing arm out. And as I say, I'm in two minds yet. I'm going to have a good look at this swing arm when it comes out. I don't know whether to just hit it with a wire brush and give it a coat of like Rust-Oleum type stuff, or anti-rust paint, whatever you want to call it, Hammerite, Smooth-Rite, or whether I'm going to quickly nash it up to the local powder coaters and just get it re-powder coated. I'll have to ring them and see how long it's going to take them. So what I'll do is I'll drop the bike back down a little bit. I might reposition the bike, because I'm now at a position where it doesn't matter if I'm close on the other side, because at some point I've got to bring the trike and the other bike back in. So right, I'll knock you off for now. I won't do anything apart from move the bike about and get set up for the next sort of stage, but I won't actually do anything else as in taking anything to bits until you're back on camera. So I'm back soon. Right, I've moved the bike a bit, lowered it down. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to take these rear footboards off. These are usually fucking tight. Looking a bit brown in there. Right, that's the foot peg off that side. Footboard even. And I'm just going to quickly do the same on the other side. It's the exact same process. The only difference being is I need me my ratchet, because that one, there's an exhaust in the way on that side. Right, I'm just going to knock you off a sec. What I'll do, I'll knock you off, I'll take the other side footboard off, and then when I come back we'll start getting on with the rest of it. Right, back soon. Right, I've whipped the other footboard off the other side. Oh, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to undo the clamp that holds this pipe to the gearbox bracket. I'm going to take it all the way off, as is the nut and bolt. Right, so that's the nut and bolt out. The reason I've done that is I want to be able to pull this pipe out a little bit, just so I can get, I'll just take that, that's the exhaust clamp, just so I can get this bottom nut off. I may need to slacken the off exhaust bolts, nuts, but we'll see. So what I need now is the right size spanner, which I might be lucky then. Fucking tight, I know that. Right, before we do that though, I need to loosen off this shaft that goes through the Swingarm. So, I'll get the tool. And just pop this cover out. And same up to the side. Right, that's the one out the other side as well. So I'll just stick them over here. I'll lose them. So what I need to do is loosen off the nut in here. Can't even see myself when I'm pointing at there. Make sure you can see. Yeah, I'm going to loosen this lot off in here. So I need to get... I'm just not organised at all here. So I'm going to knock you off and get some tools, and I'll come back in a minute. Right, just want to show you something here. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Try and keep the camera in shot. Right, if you can see there, try and get in a bit closer. That socket is right up against the edge of that plate. So I'm just going to take that back out. That's on the nut on the shaft. So go to this side one. Put the socket on. The difference there. Now that tells me that something is not right. So, right, I'll just knock you off again and get the rest of my tools sorted. I just noticed that when I was making sure that I had the right size socket. Right, I'll be back in a minute. Right, I've got a socket and a ratchet on the opposite side. Hopefully I'm not going to block your view too much. I just need to lean over there. What I will do, just move this off the seat. I just need to lean over to keep a hold of this side. So I'll try and do it without right, let's actually turn on the other side. Right, it should be able to. That's the nut off. I'm going to zoom back out a bit now. And on that. Now that is quite interesting. What I mean, sorry, I'm getting thinking to myself now while I was the fact that socket was like basically touching that front edge on the other side, yet there was a good 2 or 3 mil gap on this side, just definitely says that something's not quite right. Now what I'm hoping is that I can push, just get my brass rod, I'm hoping that I can push this shaft out from this side might need a tap. Just get my little tapping stick. Now I'm not one to force anything, so just a little nylon hammer. If I can get this to move. I might be doing this completely wrong at the minute. I've got a sneaking suspicion that the shaft's bigger than one of those pliers on the job, so I can pull that washer out. Right, you've got like a weird sort of spacer stroke washer, and it's got a like a recess in that edge. That's the recessed edge goes in towards the gearbox. Right, so I think what I'll do is I'll start to take some stuff apart. First I need to ratchet out some more tools. Right, I'm going to knock you off for a minute. Back soon.